goals for this website?
Well, we'd like to make our resources available to all the physicians, as well as have information available to the employees, and keep it as simple to navigate as possible.
And what's your time frame?
The expectations of the client must be established to gauge the number of programming and design hours and the overall complexity of the project.
So tell me, how do you establish your costs?
Well, first we look at the big picture. We take a look at the project as a whole and break the project up into manageable tasks. And we, based on experience, know approximately how long each task is going to take. And we count up the number of tasks, how many hours each one's going to take, and we have a dollar value associated with each person here. Each person costs a particular amount of money per hour, so that's how we assign the cost of a job.
One of the problems that can occur is that the customer changes their requirements. The requirements are just basically what the customer wants done for their site.
Other factors that can come into play, maybe factors that are out of our control, such as telecommunications carrier, a hardware vendor, or other people that we're dependent on. And as things that we can't control, they can often cause problems. The industry is very, very competitive right now, and the people who are going to survive are the organizations that can handle these bumps in the road gracefully, smoothly, and still finish up with the customer's requirements in mind.
A written proposal is delivered based on the client's needs. Once the proposal is accepted and a partial payment is made by the client, the work begins. The project manager assigns the work to the programmers and designers.
Resham, what do you do here?
I'm an internet programmer by profession. My primary goals over here are to design corporate websites for our clients.
How long does it take you to do that, to design a corporate website?
Well, depending on the project and what software and platform they want us to use, it takes anywhere between 40 to 80 hours to get a site out.
What do you like about your job?
Well, I love technology. I've always loved technology from the time I was real young. So I just love the technology and the way that the internet is fundamentally changing the way people do business.
Teamwork pulls it all together.
I manage 15 engineers within the support environment, within various accounts. The director of my department, reasoning being behind this, states that somehow I'm able to motivate people as a team, no matter what background they come from.
Building cross-cultural teams, I think, is going to be one of the great challenges, particularly in a virtual environment. It's very interesting. The technology enables us to talk and communicate cross-culturally like never before in a virtual global space. However, when we don't have the visuals and we don't have the nonverbals, we may be able to connect much faster, but the chances of miscommunication are that much greater when we communicate cross-culturally. And I think we're just beginning to learn about the challenges about how to communicate cross-culturally with the internet.
Experience, certifications, and technical training count. Keeping up with new technologies is a must.
I'm an Oracle database administrator. Even though my graduate degree is in mass communication, when I got to the States 4 years ago, I realized that there are a lot of opportunities in IT field, so I decided to pursue IT career and started taking Oracle database administration courses.
A significant portion of the high-tech degrees awarded each year goes to foreign nationals.
Be a certain amount of fearlessness, because in a sense, my family came from Japan to Hawaii to drive a taxi cab, essentially. And so they had really nothing to lose. Now, I've been very fortunate that my father and mother's generation basically sacrificed to put me where I am. So I don't really consider myself an immigrant in any sense of the word. I'm more American than American. But the people who have come over in this generation to this country, they really have nothing to lose. It's pure upside. And at least in America, they're not stuck in a caste, closed system. So they can, in fact, achieve stuff that would have been unthinkable in their native countries.
What are the most common concerns of an H1B visa employee?
Well, some of the most common concerns of an H1B employee are, number one, how do you get a job in the United States? How do you get an employer who will sponsor you? I mean, once you've accomplished that, you need to apply for the visa at a certain time of the year, usually between October and March, because those type of visas for professionals, which is what an H-1B is, are limited. And if you wait till after March, between April and September, it's impossible to get one of those visas. So timing is everything. And also, a lot of employers don't start applying for permanent residence for the H-1 employees until well into the 6-year maximum that an H-1 employee can stay in the United States. If you start too late, you run into danger of losing the employee.
I think a technical degree, even if you never become an engineer and actually use it, it'll give you such a base of understanding that whether you go into marketing or finance, that base technical degree will enable you to work for many, many high-tech firms. And I fundamentally believe that the future is going to be high technology. And so this base is a very good base to build in your college years, and then, you know, branch off and do whatever you love. But just as before the theory was, you know, go to law school and get a legal degree and then you can do anything anything you want. And some people say get a liberal arts degree and you can do anything you want. I think if you get an engineering degree today, you can do anything you want.
What advice would you have for individuals considering a high-tech degree?
Go by all means.
Now here's an important thought. Have you considered a career in engineering, math, physics, or computer science? It may be worth your time to find out what training is needed, what classes you can take, and what jobs within the industry pique your interest.